Sister, the other thing I wanted to get into, because this is the first thing I thought of when you contacted me over the email, and that is the final interview, the final public interview we had of Sister Lucia. She gave it to Father Agustin Fuentes in 1957 on December 26th. And it's my own personal theory and opinion that she already knew then, through her prayer, that she was going to be silenced. And so she was trying to give us as much information as she could, especially too as regards like the third secret and what was coming, things that she wasn't going to speak about because of her promise to Our Lady. So sort of trying to say everything she could without actually, breaking the promise to Our Lady, breathing the secret. And it's a fantastic interview. We do have it on our website. I encourage people to read it. We also had a Fatima Crusader recently in which we talk about the third secret, and we reprinted it all there. But I just wanted to read a certain portion of it and then have you comment on it, because for me, being a very external observer, I don't know what you've gone through or your orders, but just a little bit that I hear, and even just what you've told us already, I feel like perhaps you're living in the middle of this. So Sister Lucia told Father Fuentes, "Father, the devil is in a mood for engaging in a decisive battle against the Blessed Virgin. And the devil knows what it is that offends God the most, and which in a short space of time will gain for him the greatest number of souls. Thus the devil does everything to overcome souls consecrated to God." Those are our religious, our priests. "Because in this way, the devil will succeed in leaving the souls of the faithful abandoned by their leaders, thereby the more easily he will seize them. And that which afflicts the Immaculate Heart of Mary and the heart of Jesus is the fall of religious and priestly souls. The devil knows that religious and priests who fall away from their beautiful vocation drag numerous souls to hell. The devil wishes to take possession of consecrated souls. He tries to corrupt them in order to lull them to sleep, the souls of lay people, and thereby lead them to final impenitence. He employs all tricks, even going so far as to suggest the delay of entrance into religious life. Resulting from this is a sterility of the interior life, and among the lay people, coldness, lack of enthusiasm regarding the subject of renouncing pleasures, and the total dedication of themselves to God." So in this, I really see that Sister Lucia was warning us that the devil is making this great attack. We know he's attacking marriage and family tremendously, but I think even before that great attack on marriage and family, he first had to undermine, the spiritual bedrock, the powerhouse of prayer that sustains the church and ultimately marriage as well, all our families. And that's the religious who dedicate their lives so lovingly and selflessly as consecrated souls to God. And so the devil's really after them and trying to destroy religious life everywhere. And we've certainly seen it happen in our life, but perhaps you're feeling it even more poignantly. Your thoughts on this, Sister?
Yes, that's a very good quote from Sister Lucia. And especially because it is true. It's happening in the world today. And as we've been saying, the members of our community have experienced it firsthand. And it's because the devil, he knows if he can get to the shepherds, the priests, the bishops, to the Pope, and, turn them away from the greatest prayer this side of heaven, which is the Latin Mass. This is the greatest prayer that we can use to call down graces for our salvation and for the salvation of souls. So he knows if he can get to the shepherds and then get to the nuns whose the contemplative life, their whole function is to pray. They're not the nurses, the teachers, those who take care of the poor. Their whole purpose, their very existence is to pray, especially for the Pope and for the bishops and the priests. He knows if he can get to them, then the sheep, the faithful, the laity, they'll be easy target for the wolves, which is the errors of Russia, the liberal theology that is infiltrated the church. And this will lead to the destruction of souls. And so this is why I believe Traditionis Custodes and Cor Orans are all part of what I believe Sister Lucia is talking about, because Traditionis Custodes, with it taking away and suppressing the Latin Mass, it affects all of us greatly, but the priest is affected the most, because this is his whole function, to pray the mass. This is his very existence is to perform the sacraments, and this is like I said, the greatest prayer this side of heaven that he can do for our souls. And so now he doesn't have it anymore. It's suppressed. He's taken away this great weapon against the devil. And then with Qurans, the very purpose of this document has been to upend and completely, quote unquote, update the contemplative orders of the world. And it's taking all the traditions and customs of the holy saints, Saint Teresa, Saint Francis and Clare, Saint John of the Cross, Saint Benedict, Saint Dominic. It's taking everything that God commanded them to leave for the future generations and to teach. This is commandments of God. This isn't something they made up in their head. Oh, we're going to do this one day. No, this is God told them to do this. And so now they're taking all of these contemplative charisms and literally throwing them out the window. And it's been said to the nuns who I've interacted with before, that if Qurans contradicts the constitutions of your order, then you must abandon those customs and conform to Qurans. And wow. The nuns have said, I have to betray Teresa of Avila if I want to be considered a nun in today's world. And so that's it. The devil hates Latin and he hates praying nuns. And this is how to destroy the church 101.
Yeah, no, it is a very difficult time, and I hope everyone listening understands that. Yeah, when you study history, in one sense, this isn't new, because the devil has often gone after, especially the contemplative. But the big difference is that in the past, as I studied history, it's always been the secular authorities that go after it. I mean, you can think of Henry VIII going after all the monasteries when he starts his new religion, his heretical religion. You can think of the French Revolution going after, for example, Carmelites of Compiègne as well. Even Emperor Joseph of Austria, this heresy of Josephism, where any order that was contemplative he considered useless. And so they've tried to suppress these things before, but it's almost always, as far as I know, it has always been the secular state. This is the first time in the history of the church, in the history of the world, I should say, that persecution against our life, our soul, our strength is coming from the church herself against the religious orders.
Yes.
And that makes it particularly...
And what is most unprecedented, has never happened before, is that this isn't just in one country, the suppression of the Latin Mass and, the monasteries, like for example, how you were saying in Germany or in Russia during the Soviet Union. This is worldwide. And this is, in the past couple of years, like hundreds of monasteries have been suppressed. Hundreds of nuns have been told, the property and the donations that you have received, and that you have the property you've lived on for decades and decades and generations, it's no longer yours. It belongs to whoever they're going to give it to. Some of the nuns just tell me, follow the money and you'll find out who was in charge of the suppression. So and the nuns are sent away, and this is worldwide. And I remember speaking to one nun who said that she was expecting her monastery to be evaluated for suppression that year. And she said, I already heard 70 to 80 other monasteries have been suppressed this year. And it was just the beginning of the year. So this has never happened on this scale before in the church. And this is why I think if Sister Lucia was talking about anything, she was talking about this.
Yeah, this truly is a terrible, terrible travesty.